our party's leader and our country's clearest Liberal voice, and, if you've read The Mirror, someone who compares favourably to Justin Trudeau, Tim Farron.
That's brilliant. Wow, well, a wonderful set of difficult acts to follow. Thanks very much to Sal, to Amna, to Caroline, and to Alex. Good impression. You should do, what's the name of the programme? Dead Ringers. There you go. That's what you should do. So anyway, thanks very much all of you for being here tonight. So at exactly this time, 9 days ago in Sheffield, Liberal Democrat activists, including dozens of new members, were working their socks off. And they've been up delivering leaflets and campaigning since before the crack of dawn, and they kept on campaigning until 10 o'clock in the Mossborough by-election, because failure is not an option. Now, a quick aside for you new members. You need to know, first of all, that you're all very welcome, and thank you. Welcome and thank you, but just so you know, no one in this party ever gets purged for thinking the wrong thoughts or belonging to the wrong group. No, we are a Liberal party. But you will get purged for wimping out and knocking off at 9:30 p.m. on polling day. Best that you know now. Anyhow, 9 days ago, our team in Sheffield kept right on until 10, but they weren't the only ones working hard. Just yards away from where the Lib Dem team were knocking on doors, some of the local Momentum activists were in the pub. They were campaigning. They were telephone canvassing for Jeremy Corbyn in the Labour leadership election. Meanwhile, in the real world, outside that rather nice Sheffield pub, real people were voting in a real election. A real election where the unspeakably brilliant Gail Smith was about to take the Liberal Democrats from 4th to 1st, gaining a seat from Labour with a swing of 31%. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the party with bags more momentum than momentum. And you are the reason for that momentum. In June, a Labour peer gave our party a donation of more than £2.1 million because he looked at you and saw that we were the movement capable of delivering a pro-European campaign. Since June, our membership has risen by more than a third because people looked at you and saw the movement best placed to reclaim our place in Europe. And since June, our by-election successes, as Sal have said, has been absolutely legendary because you got out and you campaigned to win. Labour is stricken by momentum. The Liberal Democrats are buzzing with momentum, and it's all thanks to you. So yesterday, September the 16th, was the 30th anniversary of me shelling out a colossal £1.50 and joining the Liberal Party. Thank you. I have since spent my entire adult life, 2/3 of my living days, almost twice as long as I've been married, spending my spare time with you lot. Which is, thanks for having me. For the first 19 of those years, I was a volunteer, and at this time on a Saturday evening, I still am. But compared to some here, I am a mere pup, but I've been around long enough to know that we are living in historic times. You don't get more historic than the decision of the British people to leave the European Union. The morning of the 24th of June is etched into my memory forever. I felt, as Alex said, as though a part of my identity had been taken from me. I felt as though my children's future had been taken from them. I felt as though my country had become something I never hoped it would be. I felt bereaved. Now, look, most of us in this room, I'm afraid, know a thing or two about losing elections. Losing always sucks. But the referendum was more than just a contest for who holds office for a few years. It was about what kind of country we are. What kind of future will we share? It's about who we are. Narrow, fearful, isolated, or open, hopeful, outward-looking. And we lost. So I headed for the TV studios early that morning because unlike David Cameron, I had a plan. In my darkest moments during the campaign, I sensed that defeat was more than just possible. And my plan wasn't rocket science. It was simply that we Liberal Democrats should reflect with depth, sincerity and genuine emotion the anguish of almost half of our country who were devastated at a result that had robbed them of their sense of who they were. And there are many people who would, and indeed do, argue that being a good loser means accepting defeat and giving up. Sorry to disappoint you. We will not roll away. We will not walk away. Too many politicians are only too happy to chop and change their principles and just go whichever way the wind is blowing. On the 23rd of June, I believed passionately that Britain is better off in the European Union. And tonight, I believe passionately that Britain is better off in the European Union. In my 30 years, there are two things I have grown used to. One is that sometimes you lose. Two is that you never, ever, ever give up. So, Winston Churchill, that great European and liberal, I reckon since Brexit he's officially ours again. There's absolutely no chance he'd carry on hanging around with that lot. But Churchill once said that the definition of success is going from failure to failure without loss of enthusiasm, which makes us comfortably the most successful movement in British political history. But the point of that comment is not that losing is okay. It is not okay. Noble defeats are still defeats. The point is, if you believe in your principles, then you fight for your principles because victory and defeat have just one thing in common. They are both temporary. Both temporary. I will not be told that I am not a European. I will not accept that my country has been lost to the nationalists. I will not acquiesce. While Britain's youth sees its future destroyed by those who will not even live to see the consequences of their actions. There is nothing wrong with being proud of your country. I have been overwhelmed with national pride at the Olympics, the Paralympics, Andy Murray's triumph at Wimbledon, and with Wales' success at the European Championships. Yeah. The less said, the better about England's performance. Knocked out by Iceland. I mean, a small, what should we say, an incredibly small, lonely, isolated island in the North Atlantic, beaten by Iceland. Thank you. So my other distraction from politics this summer has been music. New albums from the Avalanches and Kendall's own Wild Beasts, particular highlights. But I also spent a bit of time this summer listening to a slightly older album. You see, I was asked by the cult website, the Ram Album Club, to review a particular album. And the idea is a really simple one. Every few weeks, someone vaguely well-known has to pick a classic album that they never listened to all the way through before, listen to it at least 3 times, and then write a review. So, for instance, next week, J.K. Rowling is reviewing The Violent Femmes. But earlier this summer, it was my turn to review Straight Outta Compton by NWA. Oh, yes. So I downloaded the album and I listened to it several times. It is a deservedly, classic, considered a classic album. but it's a bit sweary. And as much as I admire Dr. Dre, Eazy-E and Ice Cube, I should point out that the Liberal Democrats take a marginally different view to them on law and order. So, now, you see, the album did cause an incident in my, in my life. So I downloaded the album to my phone, fair enough, but my kids had been mucking about with my phone one morning and apparently linked my ringtone with my iTunes. So later that day, there I was in my office in Kendal in a meeting with the chief executive of our local NHS trust when my phone went off and we were all treated to a quick burst of F the police, which was lovely. Almost a pity that I wasn't due to meet the chief constable until later that afternoon, really. But other sources of light entertainment recently have included media appearances by Emily Thornberry. She responded rather tetchily to being asked who the French foreign minister is. And she came across, well, she got very, very cross with the interviewer. Said, this is a very serious interview, she said. It's not a pub quiz. Well, what an absolute disgrace. She clearly had no idea who the French foreign minister was. Catherine, who's the French foreign minister? Some French bloke. Anyway, I personally am rather fond of pub quizzes, so let's have one. Round one, politics. Fancy that. What percentage of Liberal Democrat-held council seats have we successfully defended in by-elections since May? 100%. Well done. Congratulations. In the 21st century so far, when did the Liberal Democrats record their highest membership number? Was it A, during the 2010 general election, B, during the Iraq War, C, now? Now, well done, fantastic. How many council seats have Liberal Democrats gained from other parties since the June referendum? 15. You were listening, well done, 15. Next. Who is Britain's answer to Justin Trudeau? Oh, yes. Although, if you believe the Daily Telegraph, apparently it might be George Osborne. And because George says that in the Tory party, he would stand up for, and I quote, the Liberal mainstream majority. I tell you what, Theresa May's government must be pretty right-wing if George Osborne is now the Liberal wing. It's a bit like Darth Vader saying he's standing up for hard-working Jedis. But, we are a party that believes in second chances. So I'm going to pop a membership form in the post. If he really means it, I am absolutely certain we can make use of him. He can sit next to Evan Harris at the FPC. Round two, geography. Where are you spending the next 4 weeks? Whitney. Several visits, all of you. End of quiz. Excellent. Well done. The winner, which is all of you, gets a night out with the new leader of UKIP at a restaurant of your choice. No foreign muck, mind. Okay? So yes, UKIP has a new leader. It is the 4th new leader they've had in the last few years, and the last 3 new leaders were all the same bloke. So it's really nice that they've now got a new leader who is actually new. Well, I say new in a Britain went to the dogs when we lost the empire sort of way. But, UKIP's policies, much as we might take the mickey out of them, they are not a laughing matter. And neither is Diane James. She leads a party whose policies are based on a vision for Britain that is closed, hateful and divided. The polar opposite of the Liberal Democrats. We believe in a Britain that is open, tolerant and united. And worrying to read that Aaron Banks, UKIP's largest donor, wants to create a momentum for the right to try and keep the party, or the Tory party, honest on Brexit, which is pretty terrifying. But it's a reminder that the battle in our politics will increasingly be between liberals like us and extremist populists on the left and right, those who offer easy solutions to complex problems, solutions that normally involve blaming somebody else. somebody who looks different to you. Now, talking of donors, I wonder how likely you would be to give money to a party that publicly slagged you off for being fat and lazy. And actually, apparently, there are some people who do pay good money for that sort of thing, but I'm not allowed to make jokes like that now I'm leader. Not even at the rally. Anyhow, Liam Fox, the International Business Secretary. The International Business Secretary. I'm just wondering whether he's read his job description. I'm going to guess that it does not include the line that the post holder should seek to undermine British business abroad and demoralise British business at home. Now, of course, to be fair, Liam Fox did not undermine British business abroad or demoralise British business at home, because he could only have achieved those things if anyone actually took him seriously. But anyway, at least he's getting a nice tan. So, right, I've started, so let's finish. David Davis, Brexit Secretary, born-again Liberal, against ID cards, detention without trial, Snoopers Charter, all the things Theresa May is madly in favour of, so that's going to end well. He is also guilty of being perfectly honest, saying there is a very good chance that the UK won't be able to stay in the single market if we leave the European Union, which, and he didn't say this bit, will be catastrophic for British business, British jobs, and the prices on the shelves in British shops. But don't worry, we'll have taken back control, which is a huge relief. And then Theresa May ticked him off and said he was wrong, a minister being reprimanded for actually telling the truth. Now that, in reality, we are not now in charge of our destiny, that it's not just up to us whether we're in the single market. Theresa May rebuked him. Don't go giving the game away, she said. The British government has a plan. Obviously, we're not telling anyone what the plan is because it's a secret. We're apparently concealing our hand, by the way. But of course, they are not concealing their hand. They don't have a hand, or indeed a flaming clue. And then there is Boris Johnson, dispatched by the Prime Minister to go on tour to as many capitals as possible, because she was very concerned that following the referendum, other countries might think Britain had completely lost its marbles. So she sent Boris Johnson to see them so that they would not think we'd lost our marbles. They'd be absolutely flipping certain. This is the government of the United Kingdom. It is our government. Doesn't it make you proud? Well, I am proud, but the world looks aghast at us now. We keep trying to distract their attention, pointing to the medals table at the Olympics and the Paralympics, our part in the Rosetta mission, the fact that we've got 5 of the top 20 universities on planet Earth on this island. We say, look over there. That's Great Britain. Don't look over there. Don't look at our government. Please don't look at our government. They don't speak for us. But sadly, they do, actually. But we think they're as embarrassing as you do. But as much as the Tories may present themselves as kind of comedy gold, their plans to let our NHS and social care services be hacked away, to divide and label and leave behind millions of our children as they bring back grammar schools, to damage our future as they clear away all the green crap, we see that their sustained hold on government will be an unfolding nightmare of horrific proportions. In a few days' time, Labour looks like continuing to choose to be in a flight to fantasy and pointlessness. And Theresa May looks on, rubbing her hands together, thinking that she can do whatever she likes because nobody can stop her. Well, look around this hall. Here are the people who will stop her. With Labour as they are, some say that we are landed with a Tory government for the next 25 years. Well, I don't know about you, but I am not having that. Britain must not sleepwalk into isolation, and Britain must not be shackled to the Tories. It is now our mission to prevent both, to provide a vision of hope that can change the direction of our country. Thousands joined our party this summer. Hundreds of you are here tonight. What a boost you have given us. You are so welcome. Thank you, every single one of you. And I can confidently say that you joined because you weren't prepared to lay down and die in the face of the most catastrophic decision this country has ever taken. And you chose wisely, because we will not give up that fight. We aren't here to protest, carp and complain. We are here to make a difference. We are here to win. This party stands stronger, larger, determined, relevant, in the right place, in the right space, at the right time, just when Britain needed an opposition that will speak out for an open, tolerant, united country, just when Britain needed a movement that will challenge this Tory Brexit government, just when Liberals in other parties are desperate for a home where they can make a difference. The Liberal Democrats are back, and we matter more than ever. Keep Britain in Europe. Save Britain from the Tories. What an opportunity. What a mission. It is our time to take back control. Right.